let's see what we can do. Okay, we'll start off with Don. So Don Olson says rebooting a Mighty Networks community. Okay, well, Don, let's hear about it. And good to have you here.
Yeah, hi Ted. Been a while since I saw you. Yeah, so I still have a Mighty Networks community, and in maybe 220, I kind of let it fall. And I had a mentorship program, I have courses. I have a lot of development material now. Like they've changed different topics to tags now, but so it's a really nice community. I have about 140 members, but they're none are active. Like it just kind of become, and so I'm coming back out with all my work, and I'm really ready to reboot the community. And I know that you moved into Mighty Networks, and I just would like some inspiration or some ideas.
Okay, right. So just to broaden this out for everybody, there are times where you go dormant for a while and you need to come back out. And now this could be, I haven't sent out an email newsletter for a while. Oh, I used to host all these events locally and I haven't for a while. Now I'm coming back. And sometimes the rude awakening you get is that people have moved on. They found somebody else. You were young and traveling and dating everybody everywhere, and had a partner in every port, and then you go back 5 years later and they're all married or something.
Yeah,
There's all sorts of ways this happens where you have to see what's there anymore and how do you rebuild it. So there's a few things. The first is to have a plan. This is the most important thing, is to really lay out a plan. So it's not just, hey, I'm starting again, but to think, okay, how do I do this? Or like a garden, you've let it go fallow for a while, the weeds have taken over, and there probably is a sequence of things it's best to start with this before you get to this. So laying that out is important. One of the things this is going to need to start with, I think in most of these cases, is some announcement that there is a plan coming. Just a little email saying, hey, I started this thing, it's gone totally dormant. I've been doing other things and I'm really excited to come back to it. So keep your peepers peeled for what's coming, but you might just do a little teaser. And then it's in the same way that you might do a launch, where a launch has maybe a series of special events that are really just for the launch. You could do that. It's like, hey, I'm going to be doing weekly free classes for people who are in the membership. I'm going to be bringing in some of my favorite colleagues, having them present on the things I think they're strongest in. I'm going to interview them. We're going to have all sorts of study groups. And like for the first month or 2 or 3, it's going to be a ton of good stuff. This is a really good time to join and get engaged again, because of all the wealth that's here, that it won't be quite this extreme forever. Yeah, but you could map it out. And I would map out something that is just like, oh my God, shut up and take my money. Like, holy hell, I definitely want to get re-engaged with this. It's so good. And and to really lay out the flow of it. So I could imagine 3 months where it's, particularly juicy, and maybe the first month the most juicy. The first month is the most extravaganza. And you might offer them a special deal in some way to get re-engaged. But that special deal could just be, if you join now, you get all this cool stuff that's coming. And the important thing also, not just having a plan like, oh, that's what I'll do, but creating all the events within within Mighty Networks where you can create events. Those all get created. It's all laid out. It's all there, so that you just press play, you press go, and then it's all happening, rather than trying to build it as you're going. And the other thing is, I might email them all and say, hey, what would you like in this membership? Like, what did you like about when we were doing it? Is there anything you didn't like? What could we change? What's most important to you in a membership like this? What are you most hoping for? Now, of course, I can tell you the thing they're most hoping for is one-on-one time with you. So that's a given, obviously. But then, you can look for other things. And then it's good to look at other memberships and see, what are they doing? And I won't go into it too well. Why not? This is a good mix of coaching and shameless plugging for my membership, since we're here. But so I'm sharing these partly because I hope they'll ethically tempt you to check out the membership, but also because I do think we're doing a lot of good stuff in the membership that whether or not you join mine, um, this is stuff you could take and use for yours. Okay, so here's a few things we've been trying that I think work that you could translate. And even if you don't have a membership, you could translate this to your work more broadly. One is we've started doing semesters. So I've got 4 semesters. Somebody just told me the semester actually means 6 months, and I told them to go to hell. That doesn't work in my 4-semester system. So why don't you just shut your mouth? Okay, anyways, I got 4 semesters, and January through, though I think next year I'm going to do it like this. January will be a very short month-long semester. And the folks that'll be on the meantime, just quick cash flow. It'll be a 30-day in and out, kind of just foot on the gas hard and go. Then let's say February through June will be point of view marketing. And we just really dig into that, which is the semester we just started on Tuesday. Then it'll be business model, then it'll be hub marketing. So that's my general thinking. It may change the timing a bit, but it's nice to have that flow where people can predictably say, when I engage with you, this is what to expect over the arc of time. It doesn't have to, but I'm enjoying it. And it also lets me have a structure then within each semester. So what we're doing is for every semester, for the first 6 weeks, there's a bunch of there's calls. I do 2 a day. So there's one at 10 a.m., one at 6 p.m., same call, just for different time zones. And those are calls where I walk them through the content. And then the remaining 6 weeks of the 3-month semester is just them integrating it. And then we end it with a deep dive call where we try to tie it all together. So for the point of view, the deep dive call will be they come up with a My Philosophy page. They take everything they worked on, try to come up with a text for a page on their website that they could get up. And we do that together live during the 3-hour call.
Did you say every day? 2 calls?
No, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, sorry. I was gonna, little too.
That'd be a great membership. Why have you $100 a month for 2 calls?
Yeah.
No, but so we do that. And what I like about this is it creates a bit of an arc. We start with these 6 calls, you can go integrate, and then we wrap it up together.
I really like the idea of an activity too, like they do something like
totally. That was the
away.
feedback I got. If there was a complaint, is like, well, but how do we tie this all together? I've got all these ideas. So with the hub marketing one, the one we did this time, which I liked, was I had them think about, okay, what are all the categories of hubs you could approach? And then let's pick one of those categories and let's start crafting the email to them of how would you actually reach out to them? What would you do? And then I was giving live coaching and feedback on the way it was written, which ended up being really useful for people. So something like this, but yeah, trying to think, how do we turn this into a practical take home? Here's the tangible value I got from this semester. I think is a good idea. Pretty much always with an offer, the more concrete and tangible the result, the more thrilled they'll be. But also something you can all think about if you're going to do a membership or Facebook, or I mean, any kind of way you're working with your community, is we have a bunch of member-led calls. So at this point, what it is Mondays, there are 2 different calls led by members, I'm not on them, of a niching practice. So they take one of my niching exercises and dig into it. The line I say often is the easiest way to avoid meditation, read books about meditation. Easiest way to avoid niching, watch my videos about niching, because that's not the same as doing the work itself. And so they get together and they do that. But you could think about this. Do you have content? Like, do you need to lead every exercise? Or maybe some of your members might actually be willing to do it themselves and just lead the conversation and host it. Great. Tuesdays, there's a community collaboration call. So this is where they get together as members and coach each other on wherever they're stuck. The numbers have not been as high on that, but I've got a whole other thought on that I'll share in a second. Third, on Wednesdays, we do a copy clinic where people can bring their sales copy. So again, I'm giving examples from the marketing world, but if everyone thinks about their own situation, you might have a different way to do it. Thursdays, there's the study hall, and that's where we take the content from the Tuesday calls and they just keep digging deeper. And that goes all the way through the semester. And there's a curriculum that I've written that my members are leading each other through. And then Fridays, there's a call with me weekly. So you can see there's a bunch of different, typical thing I think we think with a membership is, oh, you have to lead all the calls. And I would just invite you to question that. That could you set up structures, or co-working sessions is another one we might start doing once a month. Peter Varney in our membership is doing a monthly tech call. Ask the tech nerd your questions. Because of course, isn't this where so many of us get stuck? It's not, it's just, I don't know how to upload this video. And so it doesn't happen for a year. Anyway, so, and then also guest presenters, consider that. We haven't been doing that as much this year, but last year I had one every week, basically. You probably have a lot of colleagues and they would be so happy to, volunteer an hour and come in, and it's good promo for them. So that's another thing you could add. And the other thing, this is what I've been thinking about instead of the Tuesday community collaboration calls, is encouraging people when they join to set up little pods with each other of 3 to 5 people, and they get together, let's say once a month, once a week, to work on their stuff outside of any of the formal calls in the membership, but to set up a pod. I think that could be very helpful. So anyways, we'll be working on that. So those are some thoughts in terms of content. I know I'm missing stuff. Anyways, marketingforhippies.com/membership. If you want to learn more, you can check it out. It's $100 US a month. I think it's a bargain. The price will go up next year, certainly. But it's good to get creative. Those are just my ideas. Other people have other memberships, and they come up with really interesting ways of engaging with their members and making the thing useful for people. So let me leave it there and we'll go on to some other questions. But Don, boy, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, great. That's fantastic, Ted. Lots of good information. Thanks.